So unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know that the GoPro Hero Max 2 has been released this week. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at some of the specs on that camera and letting you know whether or not I think this camera was worth the wait, whether or not I'll be buying one. So hey, sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is DemonView. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you tuning in, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Max 2 and the specs that it offers. So a little bit of background for those who may not know this. The GoPro Hero Max 2 was due to be released last year during the summertime, and then it got delayed until around the September timeframe. Now it was supposed to come out then in September of 2024, but about 2 weeks before its release date, Insta360 released the X5. And that was a pretty impressive 8K camera. Next thing we know, GoPro say, hey, guess what? The Max 2 is going to be released, in another 2 weeks' time. Then it was pushed to the end of the year, and then suddenly it was pushed till 2025. And we've been waiting and waiting since then for a word on the Max 2 until finally it was announced it was going to be released this week. So GoPro had basically an extra year to work on this camera. Was it worth the wait? I've got a question about this. Why was it delayed a year? And I honestly think that the Max 2, when it was originally designed to be released, it wasn't a planned delay that happened. I think they got very scared of the specs of the Insta360 X5 that got released. I'm betting that it was a much lower resolution camera, probably didn't have the capabilities, and maybe it was just a slightly upgraded Max, who knows. But for those of you who may think that, oh no, they kind of just we're planning to delay till 2025. Don't forget, they planned their inventory of the original Max to run out in September 2024, which it did. They actually had to restart production on the Max to kind of fill that gap in the meantime. So this was not a planned delay. So honestly, I think they got scared by the release of the Insta360 X5. So did they release a camera that can compete with it? Well, let's look at the good things about the Max 2. It obviously has those replaceable lenses. That's fantastic, only if you actually watch the videos, you're not really replacing the lenses, you're replacing the cover that goes over them. And that's something that GoPro Hero, the 9, the 10, the 11, the 12, kind of all GoPros, but the 8 and, the 8 and I think anything before the 4 actually had replaceable lens covers. Now, the way it seems is that this lens cover is part of the focusing area. Like, even in their own videos, they show up close, the people stay in focus, but the background's blurred until the new lens cover is put on. So yeah, it could have some optical kind of things going on there, but it's really just a lens cover. You're not really replacing the actual lens. So yeah, that's a good thing, because let's face it, the Max and the Fusion, if they got dropped, you'd break it and the whole camera would be useless. This is an extra kind of set of protection there, and you don't have to have like a stick-on lens cover for it. Let's talk about resolution. The resolution from the footage I've seen of the GoPro Max 2 is actually much better. Now, for those of you who have been confused by the term like true 8K, it's a simple one. Other cameras, basically, they're taking the measurement of the sensor and saying, hey, this is 8K. The only problem is they're counting the amount of pixels on the shape of that square sensor. If you actually watch the examples that are given, there's a lot of kind of dead pixels there that aren't used. It records, don't forget, in a circle, and inside you have another circle that's almost as big, but the edge of that is used for the stitching, and then the bits of the corner that aren't used, which are basically blank dead pixels, they're kind of counting that as part of the resolution. Whereas GoPro, they say, no, we actually use true 8K in our sensors. And when you watch the example videos, yeah, you can actually see the footage does look sharper. It does look clearer than the competition. So visual wise in bright daylight, yeah, you have to give points to the Max 2. It does just look better. Having said that, they didn't put a larger sensor in there. In fact, it's still running kind of a small sensor. So therefore it doesn't perform low light video that well. In fact, if you watch the examples that are given by GoPro, they're actually showing footage of night lapses, star trails, that type of thing, making it look like really great low light performance, but that's all to do with longer shutter speeds. I mean, you can get the same performance out of the other cameras if you use the longer shutter speeds and use like your night lapse settings. Now, GoPro do have the night modes such as star trails, light painting, and vehicle taillights and all that, which is found in the GoPro Hero 13. Other cameras don't offer that. They offer like night lapse. I think that's pretty much it. Not that you can't get the same effects from actually, taking the photographs manually and then stacking them on top of each other. But yeah, GoPro, they don't show low light night video, and that's because it's pretty bad. It's terrible because they're still using the small sensor. It's not a 1-inch sensor. Another thing it's missing, it's not using a GP3 chip, even though in February 2025, GoPro had said, yeah, we've qualified that GP3 chip. Yeah, we're not going to see that until the Hero 14, which will be released in 2026. And my guess is it's going to be September of 2026. Another thing about the Max 2, yes, it does support Bluetooth audio, but as we've heard, most Bluetooth audio is not that great. And that's because most people are recording with headsets or, you know, their earpieces, whatever. And the thing is, they're great for phone calls, but they're designed, basically, the microphones in them are designed for phone calls. So there's built-in wind suppression and noise cancellation, and they don't really care about how good the vocals sound because they know that most people are using these to make phone calls, so your quality therefore sounds like a bad phone call. If you use something like the DJI Mic 2 or even the 3, yes, you can connect wirelessly directly with Bluetooth, and that does sound a lot better, but it still doesn't sound as good as a dedicated wireless microphone with a receiver unit. And that's something that GoPro just don't really offer for the Max 2. Yet, I don't know if it's possible that they could come up with some sort of media mod for it, but I doubt it. So you're still going to be restricted to that pretty low quality sounding Bluetooth audio, unfortunately, unless somebody comes up with a really, really decent wireless Bluetooth microphone. The DJI 2, it's pretty good, but having said that, it's still not fantastic. So for me, GoPro had an extra year to work on the Max 2, and was it worth the wait? Here's the thing, if you own something like an Insta360 X2 or X3, yes, I would definitely upgrade to the Max 2. If you own a GoPro Fusion, yes, I would definitely upgrade to the Max 2. If you own an original Max, then it's kind of harder to justify. I mean, you're getting features which the Hero 13 has, so if you have a GoPro Hero 13, you know, all the extra features, they've just basically put them into a Max 2. And yeah, it's harder to justify if you own a Max. Yeah, you're getting that resolution bump. Yes, you're getting 10-bit color, log video. But having said that, I reckon the Max, the GoPro Max, is still one of the best 360 cameras out there. I love the picture from that. I think the colors are spot on that camera. It's really good. So for me, trying to justify upgrading to the Max 2 is a hard one. If you're a professional video editor, you do a lot of desktop editing and color grading, then yeah, it's definitely worth it. But if you're posting quick social media clips to TikTok, Instagram, Threads, that type of thing, harder to justify. You might just save your money and stick with the original Max. It's going to be much cheaper. Will I be buying the Max 2? Here's the thing, if I just had some extra money lying around, yeah, I wouldn't think twice about it. I'd just throw it and get it. The thing is, you know, I logged on to actually look at the pricing. It seemed kind of decent, but then I realized I'd bought one of the GoPro Hero 13 Polar Whites this year, which means that since I only get a $100 discount per year on a camera, that wasn't going to be applied to the GoPro Max 2. So by the time I went in to purchase the Max, put an extra battery in there, I think the price worked out like $475, and for what that camera offers, I just don't think it's worth it. If I could have got it for $399 with the extra battery, yeah, absolutely, but not for $475. The other thing on top of that, which I find a little bit worrying, is that I have fun updating Google Maps. I put the GoPro Fusion on top of my car, I'll go out there, drive around, then I'll render the file and upload it straight to Google Maps. I really enjoy doing that, it's a bit of fun. You can't do that with the Max 2 in a Windows environment. GoPro Player doesn't export the GPS data when you render the file. It has never worked, and GoPro, to their credit, have never bothered their arse fixing it. And if it doesn't work with the Max, I doubt it's going to work with the Max 2. I haven't seen any big updates coming out for the GoPro Player, and they haven't even mentioned, hey, we've fixed GPS data. And don't forget, the Max 2 still records in that 360 file. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be possible with the Max 2. I mean, if there's one piece of advice I could give to GoPro that would make me buy their camera in an instant, it would be fix the desktop software. Fix it now. It works in the Mac. Other third-party companies have come up with their own solution. It is possible to update Google Street View with the GoPro Max and hopefully the GoPro Max 2, but it's not possible to do it with your GoPro Player software because you guys never bothered to fix it. So for the love of God, fix that software. If that was fixed, yeah, I would have no hesitation whatsoever buying the Max 2, but until then, it's just not going to interest me because I think it's a bit overpriced for what it does offer, especially when it doesn't do low-light video at all. That's pretty bad. You had an extra year to work on this. You could have done something. But yeah, unfortunately, not bothering to fix the software, that's the biggest flaw of this whole system. You're still using that old GoPro Player software that just doesn't work when it comes to GPS data. Now, I know that sounds absolutely terrible, like I'm slamming this camera. Not really. It's still one of the cheapest offerings for an 8K 360 camera. If you're looking for value for money, yeah, I think that's it. The reason I'm not upgrading is because like I'm still happy with my Max. And like I said, if you're a professional editor working on desktop software, then yeah, you should upgrade. The other thing that I would say is a huge plus is the GoPro Labs firmware. Now, GoPro have said, you know, oh, you can boost it up to 300 megabits per second with this GoPro Labs firmware. You can do that with the Max, the original Max. You just can't do it that high or anywhere near that high. And yes, it does make a difference to the visual quality when you increase bit rates. GoPro Labs firmware also has a whole bunch of other features that you're not going to find on the competition, you know, such as the motion detection, the GPS triggers, the sound triggers, setting up owner information if you ever lose your camera or it gets stolen. And you have a whole plethora of options there, and for once it's available upon date of release for the GoPro Max 2. So, you know, that alone is actually probably one of the deciding factors. Like I said, for me right now, I'm not purchasing it. I'll probably wait till maybe Christmas before I rethink the situation, see if the price drops a bit. And maybe by then, you know, my subscriber discount will kick back in again. But yeah, hard one to actually justify kind of purchasing here and now. But it is something I'll still be watching for a bit of a price drop. So that's my thoughts on the Max 2. I hope you found this a bit informative, and, you know, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're thinking of purchasing the camera, what you find impressive about it from the trailers and the footage that you've seen, or what's something that you don't like about this camera, what puts you off buying it. So hey, I appreciate you tuning in. That was just a quick little video on my thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, cheerio. Oh, and if you're wondering why I put two videos that were members only, the flight video, that's actually up on one of my other older channels, so it's actually available for free anyway. And number two, the whole thing about the exact settings that I use with the Refuel DigiPower power bank, all those settings were given in the original review anyway. If people didn't pay attention to them, this was just kind of a quick way to do it. So if you want to know the settings, just go and watch the original video. The reason I put them in behind a paywall, so to speak, was just a little act of revenge against a very nasty commentator who thinks I was his personal IT support or something, who messaged me 6 times in one day, even though I have, you know, a real job doing other stuff that I was busy. I wasn't going to be able to answer him. And because I didn't do that, I planned to answer him the following day, but because I didn't do that, he started leaving nasty comments, then logging in under his ghost accounts to leave more nasty comments. So I decided to give him a big kind of screw you and make a video giving the exact information that he wanted and put it behind a paywall so he can damn well pay for it. So a little bit of act of revenge. But if you do decide to become a member, know that there's other videos behind that paywall that you can watch that hopefully prove useful or a bit of fun, or if you just want to support the channel, you know what to do. So hey, catch you next time.